Hey guys, today I have got a good meal set out for y'all. So let's go ahead and grab our shoeboxes and get into it. So here's my shoeboxes. There's my recipes of what we're having today. Chipotle chicken with pinto beans. And I also put in rice because my boys asked me to make rice. They asked me to make a chile de árbol sauce and a jalapeno cilantro ranch sauce. Yeah, they like their sauces. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I've been trying to come up with my own meal planning system to make my life easier. You know, trying to find that balance between working all the time and being at home and still trying to put dinner on the table. I'm still trying to find that balance. But this system has been working for me for a minute, okay, for like a couple months now. So I got these shoeboxes that I had for years now, at least 20 years. And I just put my recipe cards in there and along with everything that my recipe calls for. So I just have to pull it out of my pantry and then I am ready to get cooking. Okay, so just like with this Chipotle chicken, I am putting everything that it says that I'm going to need for the marinade into my blender, okay, which is a whole can of Chipotle peppers, 3 garlics, some oregano, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of chili powder, and then salt and pepper. And then you're going to blend all of that delicious marinade together, and be sure to taste your marinade before you add it to your chicken or your beef or whatever you are adding it to, because you don't want it to be too salty at the end of it. I didn't season my chicken prior to putting the marinade on because I made sure that the marinade had all the flavors to carry into the chicken. Now sometimes I do score my meat so I can get all up in there, but I didn't really do that this time. I just made sure that I got it all over the chicken, underneath the skin and everything. I got it coated really, really well. And you don't necessarily have to make it like how I do. You can throw whatever you have. Like if you're missing an ingredient, don't even worry about it. Just keep on going. Like today it didn't call for me to add pineapples or chicken broth into the marinade. I just had some in my refrigerator that I needed to use up. So I went ahead and added it in. You know, because I don't want it sitting in my refrigerator until it gets real dank. You know, grody, gross, and then have to throw it away. I've been trying to not really waste anything, you know, here lately, because everything is really expensive. So ever since I started doing my once a month of meal planning, my waste has went down a lot. As before, I'd forget what I was making. I'd lose my meal planning sheet. So ever since I started putting my recipes on the binders again and just having my family pick out what, you know, I have them pick out 15 to 16 recipe cards, and then that's what I'm buying for the whole month. That is from breakfast to lunches, dinners, and sides. Okay, so I've been keeping them on these little index cards and putting them on a binder ring so I don't lose them. And I have them hang them up at my family command center, where I put like all of my doctor's appointments, all my kids' doctor's appointments, my husband's doctor's appointments, you know, our days off or vacation time and stuff like that. And it's been working out really, really well for the last couple of months. Now, I spent about $425. That's not including fresh, well, excuse me, that is including a couple of fresh ingredients. Now, I tend to go get my fresh vegetables and fruits weekly, and I'm only buying what I'm going to need for that week to keep my costs, my out-of-pocket, really, really low. Okay, so just like these chicken leg quarters. These were chicken leg quarters. I cut them in half. I separated the thighs from the legs, and so that's going to give us 8 pieces of chicken, so we can eat this. So we can eat on this for 2 days, okay? So that's how I am also stretching my grocery budget, okay? So I just dry off my chicken really, really well. You want to try to get as much moisture off of it as you can, so the marinade will stick to the chicken better that way. And once you get your marinade poured on, you're just going to massage it into your chicken. Go up underneath that skin, get into all the little crevices. If you want to, go ahead and score your chicken thighs down to the bone in your legs. Go ahead and do that. It's just going to help. Now, I didn't have a lot of time to marinate these, so I did set those to the side to marinate for like 30 to 45 minutes. Overnight would have been better, but that was all the time that I had today. If I would have planned out more better, then I would have let them do overnight, but I did it. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my pinto beans in my Instant Pot. Why? Because it is a weeknight. I'm tired. I've been up since 1 o'clock in the morning. I've got to work at 2. Here it is going, like, this was like 1 o'clock. I got off super late. I'm tired. I want to take a shower and relax and just kind of, calm down from the day. So I'm going to use my Instant Pot because, for one, I wasn't prepared and I didn't soak my beans like how I like to. So if you don't have time to soak your beans like I do, you can go ahead and put in your Instant Pot. Or if you're more prepared, like how I am not most of the time, you can go ahead and soak your beans the night before, and it will cut down a lot on the cook time. So I'm putting them in my Instant Pot. I just put in a half of garlic, a couple of bay leaves, and then I'm just going to put in chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, and then I'm going to throw in a handful of garlic. Like, what I mean a handful, I mean like a handful. It's going to have like 7 or 8 cloves of garlic. It's fine. We're going to add SMP to it as well, and a little bit of EVOO. Now, I don't like to cook my beans in a shit ton of broth, and a lot of broth. So, you can cook yours how you want to cook yours. I just put enough a liquid over mine till it's like maybe an inch and a half over the beans. Especially since I'm doing them in the Instant Pot, they're not gonna lose a lot of moisture because it's an Instant Pot is a pressure cooker, so it's gonna trap in that moisture. So it's not gonna get released. And then I also like to do a natural release on it as well. So that's also going to help them finish getting done. So I think when I hit the Instant Pot, it was like at 36 minutes. I just did that. I did the first 36 minutes, and then it still needed like 10 or 15 minutes more. So then I just put it on again, and then I let it do a natural release again. And I'm not gonna lie, I did forget about it while I was making, the rest of dinner. So I'm just adding in my seasonings. You can add in whatever seasonings you want. You have your favorite pinto seasonings, you can go ahead and add them in, honey. This is not, oh, you have to stick to my recipe. No, you're the boss of your kitchen. You cook your beans how your family likes it, and this is just how my family likes my beans. Okay, I don't cook it like this all the time. Sometimes I add bacon, I add a bone shank, I add all different kinds of things. Sometimes if I'm feeling really, really, I don't know how to explain it, but like if I'm feeling like really out there that day, I have been known to like throw potatoes in there. Like, I really don't care. A can of diced tomatoes, you do you, however you want to do it. I've done it several ways. Pico de gallo, brown sugar, mustard ketchup if I'm doing like a baked bean kind of thing. Literally, I mean, you're the boss of your kitchen. How else are you going to find out what your family likes if you don't kind of step out the box a little bit? So, but that might be just me, but I'm just adding in bay leaves. I'll always add in bay leaves to my rice. Not always, but sometimes to my rice, but always to my beans, whether they're black beans, pinto beans, navy beans, cannellini, it don't matter. Okay. Oh, that was just the rest of that marinade. I was saving it. I'm just gonna save it in case I want to do something with it later. Now I can, because it does have that chicken broth in there and that orange juice. What I could do is boil out a lot of that chicken broth and make it like a glaze, but I didn't, so oh well, you can keep that in the back of your pocket. So I'm just adding the rest of my rice that was in there. I usually cook 2 cups for my family, and that leaves us with plenty of leftovers. So here's my little thing I saw my mom do. She has like a fine mesh, like a big old fine mesh strainer. I only have this one. And she put her rice into another bowl and just let the water go, and she just took her whisk to it. And I thought, hell yeah, that's a lot easier than doing it with your hand. So I figured I'd show you all that little tidbit right there, because it did make it a lot easier. Now the reason I wash my rice is because I want to get as much starch off of it that I can. Okay, so all my grains won't stick together, all the rice will stick together. And then I just put my rice in a pot. I'm adding some chicken broth. I opened up a new one, and then yes, I went through all my chicken broth today, even the old one, the one that I had previously in the refrigerator, and the new one. So I'm gonna add in my chicken broth. I'm gonna throw in a few bay leaves, and then I don't know about y'all, but have y'all ever heard of Vegeta, whatever you want to call it? It's that blue can right there on my stove. See it right there? That tastes amazing in rice. It's got plenty of salt. It's got dehydrated vegetables. It's really good, and it has a little turmeric, some little other spices in there, and it's really good. I've been using that in place of salt because it does have a lot of salt in there. So I'm just gonna put my rice on to boil. Okay, I'm just getting everything going while my chicken is marinating, so everything comes together, all together at one time. You know what I mean? I'm go ahead and I'm setting my oven to 425, and I'm hitting air fryer because I know I've been reading my comments, y'all, and a lot of you have been saying, hey, this might help, and I appreciate those feedbacks, because it does remind me, hey, I need to stop, quit rushing, and explain, why I'm putting the oven at this temperature or whatever. So I put it at 425. I put it on air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer oven, just put it in your regular air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer oven, hey, just put it in the oven at 425 and just let it go for about 25-30 minutes. Make sure you check on it. When you temp it out and it temps out at 160, you can go ahead and pull it out of the oven, because it will keep cooking all the way up to 165. Okay, so here I am. I don't want to waste my marinade, so I'm just putting all them little extra tidbits on there. And then I saw my rice. I said, oh, it's time for me to put a lid on it. See how it didn't have no more liquid in there? Just about. Almost all the liquid was gone. It made little holes. Put the lid on, let it sit 10 minutes. You'll be good to go. Nice, fluffy. It's nice and fluffy rice. All the grains are going to be separated. It's not going to be sticking together, okay? Now here we go for the chile de árbol. Got a pan with some oil in it. When you see your oil start to glisten, that's how you know it is hot enough. Now you're going to go ahead and you're just going to throw you some chilies in there. Hey, I don't measure it, girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay, I just throw them in there. See? Just like that. Just boop, that looks like enough. Boop, that looks like enough. Oh, a little bit more. That's just how I am. Okay? Yes, I just stick my bare hands in the thing. Now, you just want to saute them until they start to get a little color. You don't want them to burn, okay? You do not want them to burn. They will get very, very bitter real quick. Okay, and depending on how high your stuff is up, depending on how fast it's going to get done. My kitchen was smelling very good this day. So now I'm just going to put all that into a blender, okay? And I'm going to let it cool off, and I'm going to add my garlic, my onions, tomatillo, and a tomato. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to let these brown, let them get a little color on them, okay? That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. We're just letting them develop some little, excuse me, a little color on them. You'll see here in a minute. Some will, I'll flip them over. See how they're starting to get those little brown spots? Depending on how brown you want yours, I let mine get, further than that. I let them get pretty brown. Now you can let them get brown on both sides. Listen, I didn't have the patience. I was over it. I just let them get brown on that one side, and I called it a done deal. Because it was a done deal. Mama was tired, and Mama was ready to go wash her behind and get in the bed, okay? Yes. See, there it is. Bam. Bam. Usually I let them go further, but hey, these was good. These were good. Now I put them in my blender. I'm going to let them, excuse me, I had a burp. I'm going to let them kind of cool down, because I do have a Ninja, and that is plastic, not glass, and I have cracked some by putting hot stuff in there. Now I did add in a tablespoon of garlic powder, a little bit of cumin. There's that chicken broth again, and I did use the rest of that chicken broth on here. And I didn't record it. I think sometimes I hit record and I don't. Like I should. Like I did film putting everything into the oven, but when I come to watch it back to edit it, it wasn't on there. So I think I do that sometime. I just have to get better at that. Everybody keeps saying the more that you record and edit, the better you'll get. Well, let's hope that's true, because honey, it's been a while and mama ain't that great. Okay, now I do put in some salt and some pepper, but I also want to stress this because again, I didn't hit record. After I get it all blended up together, when I put it in my pan, again, you're going to see here in a minute, I add some more olive oil into my pan. My beads were not here then. We're not done here. That's when I had to put them back on. When I put the olive oil in my pan, you're going to see here in a minute, and then I add the salsa. I do not strain my salsa. My boys do not like it strained. They want all the little seeds. They want all them little seeds, all them little bits of pepper. I don't know why, but they freaking love it. But I just, you do you, boo. However you want to do it. See, I'm putting in my olive oil into my pan, and I'm going to pour the salsa back in there, and then I'm just going to stir in. It's 2 tablespoons of tomato bouillon and 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. Now, both of those, I have those in low sodium because you see I did add the salt, and I do taste it before I add it so I can know how much I need to add. You want to constantly taste your stuff throughout because you don't want nothing to be too salty. And this is what I do all the time. So you're going to let this come up to a simmer. When it comes up to a simmer, you're going to let it simmer for like maybe 10 minutes. And then you're going to turn it off. You're going to let it cool off. And you're going to put them in whatever you want to put it in. I put mine in these little jars that you saw at the beginning of the video. I got 5 2-ounce jars of the chile de árbol. And then I got 3 of the cilantro jalapeno lime ranch. Now my boys, hey, I do have one son that only likes the chile de árbol. He doesn't like the other one. My other son loves both of them. He mixes them together, and he said it's the best of both worlds. So here's the cilantro, the ranch, cilantro, lime, jalapeno, whatever you want to call it stuff. Cilantro jalapenos. Now I did add in the juice, however much juice you want to add in it. Okay, now if you have a 5-ounce jar of sour cream, you're going to add in that whole 5-ounce jar. Me, I had about it wasn't a whole 5 ounces, I know that, because I do go back and I add in some more sour cream here in a minute, because I'm like, it looks like it doesn't have enough sour cream to me. Because I know what it looks like when I followed my recipe. And then here I am adding in the ranch. It's just a regular packet of ranch. Okay, you do you. Get the low sodium, get the regular, whichever one you want to do. I don't care. You're the boss of your own kitchen. In my kitchen, we do the regular. Okay, you don't have to add a lot of salt, not a lot of things. It's just bam. See, there's the rest of that sour cream going in. And I think it tasted weird because I just realized it was the light. That could be why. If you're high protein, hey, yogurt, cottage cheese, it all works good. I've tried them all. I've been high protein for a little over a year now. Trust me, you can't taste the difference. Okay, so now you're just going to blend all that up, and then you're going to taste it, because you might need to add, some more jalapenos. If you want more jalapenos, you might want to add yourself some more cilantro. Usually I do 2 cilantros, but this is all that I have left. And my son really, really wanted it, so I went ahead and used it up. And I did tear off a couple of tablespoons to add into my pinto beans. Yeah, so now I'm just going to add them into my little jars. And then we're going to call this dinner and done, man. Dinner and done with a couple of salsas. Oh, yes. And for some of you that want to say that the chicken is burnt, it's not burnt. Trust me, it is not burnt. That is called flavor. That's what happens when you cook your chicken. And there it is. There's my plate. It's the only plate I was able to get because I thought we were going to have leftovers. But we still did not. My family killed it. Alright guys, if you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up, like, follow my channel if you would like. if you want to see what else I'll be making next throughout the rest of this month, just stick around, subscribe, and see what else I'm going to cook up here in July. I know I have some ribs and a pork butt we need to get out. So that's dinner and done, guys. See y'all next time. Bye.